Meg Gorman's opponent, Chuck Fleischman, the man is a sycophant to anyone except for any family in this community. We know my opponent. My opponent is known very, very prominently throughout the 4th Congressional District because he always embarrasses us. We're sick and tired of being embarrassed. And Congressman Desjardins is absolutely terrifying. We sent out mailers. We have a well-funded campaign. We have now made over 600,000 contacts with Tennessee voters. It's the most of any campaign, Democrat or Republican, in the state of Tennessee. And we're going to make over 1 million contacts with Tennessee voters on Election Day. I'm a Democrat, but I'll be a United States congressman. And the vast majority of people that we're building relationships with are non-Democrats because we know where we live. We know that Glenn and Meg and I can get every Democrat on God's green earth, but all of us, some more than others, need non-Democrats to get over the top. So these last few days of this campaign, I am walking 196 miles from corner to corner of this congressional district to win this election. And Congressman Desjardins is tweeting. That's all he has left. That's all he has left. Congressman Desjardins commissioned a poll with the Tennessee GOP this past week, and he was losing. And he had no idea that while he was doing nothing for the past 9.5 years, that someone could actually compete with him, that someone could actually win over his voters, that someone that could actually persuade his people to come to our side. But when you're the captain of the Titanic and you're straightening deck chairs 9.5 years later, tweeting's too little, too late. We're walking 196 miles across this district. I got into this campaign in the middle of March. I am the only candidate, I believe, for federal office, one of the only candidates for federal office who decided to run for the United States Congress after COVID-19. Turned in my petitions and my signatures with gloves and a face mask. To me, it's the most important issue in this campaign. I think when that virus came, it would be unimaginable to folks standing here today that in the middle of October, with fall here, with Christmas around the corner, that we would be celebrating our holidays in face masks. It didn't have to be that way. For 70 days, Congressman Desjardins, a doctor, knew that this virus was coming to steal Tennessee lives and livelihoods, and he did nothing about it. But even when it came, he did nothing to help us. Now, I don't agree with President Trump on a lot of things, especially some of his tweets. But he actually went to his computer in the middle of March after Congressman Desjardins voted against the Pelosi-Trump bill, the March coronavirus relief bill, and here's what he wrote. The folks who opposed that bill and held it up were third-rate stooges. I agree with President Trump. Congressman Desjardins is a third-rate stooge. Yeah. This virus is personal to me. My grandmother right now, 86 years old, is fighting for her life, COVID-19 positive. Likely going to take her. So I know, like 2,700 Tennesseans, I know the personal effects of this disease. I know defeating this is a pro-life issue. I know standing up to this is a Christian issue. I know it's a moral issue. Congressman Desjardins doesn't. 196 miles. I am walking from corner to corner. Livelihood. I'm walking for over 1 million Tennesseans who don't have good jobs right now, who've lost their health care, who don't have living wages. I'm walking for you and your families. But I need your help. I can't do this alone. The progress that we have made over the past 6 months of this campaign has not been me. My Red Bull and smile and energy helps, but it's been you. It's been over 600 volunteers of this campaign who've made over 600,000 contacts with Tennessee voters. It's been the 6,000 Americans, one for every state in this country, all 50 states who have invested in this campaign. Imagine that every state in this country has invested right here in Bradley County, Tennessee, right here in Cleveland. They know what you know. We can do better than Scott Desjardins. Tennessee deserves better than Scott Desjardins. They deserve an independent, populist outsider who will not let any obstacle stand in the way of fighting for you and your families. So today I'm asking for 3 things. 1, can you give? The average contribution is $32.11 to this campaign. It will help me get my message out. It will help us win over voters. It will help us do what we need to do in these final days. So I'm asking right now, if you will raise your hand, if you pledge that you will give something to this campaign today. Thank you. Thank you. And those watching at home, everyone raise their hands. So all my faces on. I'll be coming after you. Go to ChristopherHale.com. There's 3 ways you can give. You can give it. You can go to ChristopherHale.com, but you can give right here. Unfortunately, Brendan's kind of mean, and so he's going to fulfill. He saw you raise your hands. We can take a check. We can take a card. We have a swipe, and we take cash, and that will go help us in these final days of this campaign. Second thing I'm asking from you. Will you take a Hell Yes yard sign? We have little signs, we have big signs, and we have the biggest signs in the state of Tennessee. We have 4x8s. Will someone today take a yard sign? And here's why you need to do it. There's a man named Jeremy, 43 years old, who lives on the other side of the district. Do you know where Spring Hill is?
Yeah.
It's about 190 miles away from here. I know it well. There's a GM plant. And Jeremy, 43-year-old, works at the GM plant. And he saw a sign of mine in June, and he loved it. He loved the Hell Yes sign. He thought it was great. He Googled me. He looked me up, and he liked what he saw. So Jeremy said, I'm voting Hale. But then he went to church 3 weeks later, and he found out the worst news of the summer. Chris Hale is a Democrat. And he did not know what to do. He was beside himself. But think about it. Jeremy, 43 years old, politics is in the center of his life. His faith is the center of his life. His family is the center of his life. His kids are the center of his life. Jeremy, for the first time in his 43 years, first time in 10 years, asked himself, who is my congressman? He Googled Scott Desjardins. Pro-life, Jeremy, Googled Scott Desjardins. The man who loves his wife and would never lay a hand on her, Googled Scott Desjardins. Jeremy, pro-life Christian, pro-family Christian, Googled Scott Desjardins, and he's voted for Chris Hale. These signs make us compete against our opponents, not on simply party, but on the personal level. If you can make it Chris Hale versus Scott Desjardins, which is what we've been doing for the past 6 months, we will win this election. These Hell Yes signs are a missionary to my cause. So when you put one in your yard, you give me a chance in your community. So I'm asking today, will someone raise their hand and say they will take a Hell Yes sign and put it somewhere in this community? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Please. Thank you. And then the final thing, we need help. We need volunteers. So we have texting, which is the majority of what we do, and phone calls and door knocking. We have people doing things right here in Bradley County. I have over 54 volunteers who have signed up and done shifts here in Bradley County. And this is really important, folks. I am not from Bradley County. I played Walker Valley a lot in tennis. We won. We go Walker Valley football, though. I've been to Bradley County time and again, but my best missionaries in Bradley County are you. You are better at getting me votes in Bradley County than I can ever be, because you confirm me with your choice, with your vote, and you help me win over others. And we can get every Democrat on God's green earth, but folks, we live in Tennessee. Every one of you knows more Republicans than Democrats by the virtue of being alive and having a pulse. So what you can do is you can help me win over Republicans in your community. You can do that officially through this campaign, or you can make a commitment to me right now that you will talk to 5 people in Bradley County, maybe even 10, who are Republicans. They might not vote for every Democrat on God's green earth. They might vote for Joe Biden, and that's okay. But they might vote for one Democrat just to prove their independence, just to say that they're not a sheep to the establishment. I'm that Democrat worth voting for. Meg is that Democrat worth voting for. Glenn is that Democrat worth voting for. So right now, will you raise your hand if you will do something to help us get non-Democratic voters, to get Republican voters, and to tell them that Glenn Scruggs and Meg Gorman and Chris Hale are absolutely the best choice for Republicans in Bradley County. Will someone do that today? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We need you. You can feel it in your bones. Something is different about this election. My team is filled with nerds and geeks, and we're all losers, and we love data. Let me tell you this. Democrats won the first day of voting in Tennessee. Let me be very clear with you. Joe Biden won the first day of voting in Tennessee. Todd Gardenhire, Chuck Fleischman, and Do Nothing Deja Late are terrified because people that are coming out of the woodworks, it's the pitchfork revolution. In rural communities across the state, in suburban communities across the state, in urban communities across the state, people are coming back to reclaim their country. But we've got to get more. We can't just simply have new voters. We've got to convert people. So we need you. We need your energy. We need your love of home and country to shine through. We might be small, but we are mighty, and our values are shining through. And we're going to win this election, but we need you to step up. So in 18 days, by the grace of God and through the means of the free and fair election, with your help, you are looking at your next congressman. Thank you so much for having me.